Hey team. Okay, so I can't really resist sharing some of what happens in our Habit Kickstarter calls. And this week's topic was mindful eating. And I blabber on about this all the time. But this week I got a little bit nerdy. I was a little bit nervous on how they would react, but the feedback was spectacular. It was awesome. People enjoyed it. A lot of people were like, oh my God, that's me. Some people got emotional because they're like, this makes so much sense. I totally relate to this, and this is why I've been having so many problems for so long. So stick with me because we're going to illustrate or give you an idea of what the research says about mindful eating, to the thoughts we have about our food. Why does that matter? Why should we care? Let's dig into it a little bit. So I started with, it's called Mind Over Milkshakes, How Your Thoughts Fool Your Stomach. Now, this is not a new study, and I'll link the NPR summary because the video is quite hilarious how they explain it and summarize it, and the link to the original paper as well. But it's not new, but basically this research group gives people two different milkshakes. So they're the same exact ingredients, they're just different labels. Literally, that is the only difference, exact same thing in the cup. And they take blood tests at different intervals, so to establish their hormonal response to this food. And it's really interesting because in the group that has the drink that's labeled indulgent and like 600 plus calories versus the group that has the Sensi shake is what it's called, and it's like less than 200 calories, they see a different hormonal response. And specifically in the hormone ghrelin, and ghrelin is your hunger hormones. This tells you that you're hungry, makes you feel hungry, makes you seek out food, etc. When you eat a meal, this drops off significantly. If you've had a very satisfying meal, it drops off significantly. And it was really interesting. And the people that had the indulgent shake, their ghrelin levels dropped much faster than the people who had the Sensi shake. And again, same exact ingredients. So we're always thinking in the nutrition industry, like, have more protein, have more fat, more fiber. This, keeps you more satisfied for longer, etc. All the science behind, nutrition and how to create sustainable weight loss and keep people fueled and have less hunger cravings and things like that. And the only difference was the perception, because they prompted the people to like, make sure you look at the label, things like that. So people had an idea of what they were consuming. And because they thought they were consuming a very indulgent, high calorie shake, they felt less hungry versus the group that thought they were having like a diet product, essentially. So this was so incredible to me because these are my takeaways from this. So this is why this is important. Number one, I think it's really helpful to learn the basic facts about nutrition, because if you know that a meal is healthy for you, if you know that it has a good amount of protein, a good amount of calories, a good amount of fiber, you're like, wow, I just fed myself a spectacular meal. I shouldn't be hungry for 4 to 6 hours. I'm going to be great. I'm going to have a great day the rest of the day. I'm going to perform really well, etc. So if you know that basic knowledge about nutrition, I feel like we can use that for the positive and think positive thoughts about it, and it will have an even greater effect on our body. That's one point. And then the other one is we might as well have a positive mindset around whatever we're eating. So if I think about like, oh, I'm having a Snickers bar and it's going to make me feel like crap, maybe it will, but maybe it will because you thought you would feel like crap because you had that. So I definitely see this in the functional medicine realm, that people overanalyze their diet to the nth degree, and you're like, you know what? I think there was a tomato in my salad that really made me feel like crap later. It's probably nightshades. I should probably take all nightshades out immediately and forever. And so it can escalate. So I do want to bring that back. Sometimes that's helpful. Elimination diets, that's great, blah, blah, blah. But take it with a pinch of salt or a little bit of this mind over milkshakes, that thinking positive thoughts can really have great benefits in addition to the science of nutrition. So that's my takeaways from that. And the next one or in part 2 of this, I want to talk about the relationship between stress, digestion, and mindful eating. So stay tuned for that.